Satellite imagery has given us a whole new way to view our beautiful planet, like seeing Earth from a God's eye view. At first, it lets us explore familiar places with fresh eyes. But the deeper people dug into those images, the more they uncovered bizarre shapes, strange formations, and patterns that no one has been able to explain. So now let's zoom in on the weirdest ones ever caught from above, as we break down the top 15 mysterious patterns seen from space. Number 15. Clearwater Lakes, Quebec, Canada. From the ground, they look like any other lakes in Canada's wilderness. But satellite images tell a different story. Two massive circles, Clearwater Lake East and West, are almost too perfect to be natural. But it turns out later, they're not. Around 290 million years ago, a pair of asteroids slammed into this region, leaving behind twin craters, one 22 miles across, the other 16. These weren't just random impacts. Scientists believe the space rocks were orbiting each other, which explains the double strike. The evidence is baked into the landscape: shocked quartz, shatter cones, and geological scars that only happen when the planet gets punched by something from space. Impact craters this well-preserved are rare. Most get wiped out by erosion or plate movement. This spot didn't. That's why geologists keep coming back. It's not just about the craters, it's about what they reveal, how Earth gets hit, how it heals, and what might hit next. Number 14. Mary Man, South Australia. In the middle of Australia's remote outback near the town of Mary, there's a huge geoglyph etched into the desert floor. It's called the Mary Man, an outline of a hunter, possibly Aboriginal, holding a weapon. It's over 2 miles long and only visible from the sky. No one knows who made it. No one has claimed it. It just appeared in 1998, discovered by a passing pilot. Shortly after, media outlets started receiving anonymous faxes filled with cryptic clues, but no name, no group, no explanation. The language in those messages sounded oddly American, sparking theories that a foreign artist might have created it. Given its precision, bulky machinery and GPS tech were likely used. Odd, considering GPS wasn't widely accessible in the 90s. Over time, wind started to erase it, but a group of volunteers stepped in and restored the shape. Today, the Mary Man still stands as one of the weirdest modern mysteries no one has taken credit for. Number 13. Spiral Formation, Red Sea, Egypt. On the edge of Egypt's Red Sea coast, the desert hides a spiral that looks like something out of an ancient myth. But this isn't ancient, and it isn't myth. It's modern land art. Built in 1997 by a Greek art collective called DASTR Team, the piece is known as Desert Breath. From the ground, it looks like an odd arrangement of sand mounds and pits. From above, it's a perfect spiral stretching across 100,000 square meters. 178 cones curve outward in 2 swirling arms, originally centered around a small artificial lake that's long since dried up. The goal wasn't permanence. The entire piece was designed to fade away, eroded by time, swallowed by wind. 3 decades later, it's still there, just less defined. It's not spiritual, symbolic, or functional. It's just an enormous gesture towards space, scale, and time. There is no alien mystery behind it. Number 12. Overlapping volcanoes. Kamchatka is a chaos layered in lava. More than 300 volcanoes sprawl across this region in Russia's Far East, with nearly 30 still active. What makes it truly strange from space is how they're arranged, not as isolated peaks, but as tangled masses of overlapping cones, twin craters, and chained calderas. Kluchevskaya Sopka, the tallest active volcano in Eurasia, towers over a cluster that includes Kamenny, Bezimiany, and Ushkovsky, all packed so tightly their eruptions blend together. Lava flows merge, explosions trigger chain reactions, and new parasitic cones erupt on the flanks of older giants. This entire region is a geological time bomb, constantly shifting, steaming, and reshaping itself. Aerial views capture formations you wouldn't believe exist on the same planet, let alone the same mountain range. The chaos up close would be deadly, but from orbit, it's pure, fiery beauty, and one of Earth's most dangerous volcanic puzzles. Number 11. Richat Structure, Mauritania. This one stands out like a bullseye in the middle of the Sahara. From the ground, it's just eroded rock. From above, it's a perfect spiral, 25 miles wide, with rings layered like a fingerprint. For a while, people thought it was an impact crater. That made sense until scientists noticed what was missing. No shocked quartz, no melt residue, none of the stuff a cosmic hit would leave behind. What they found instead was a deeply eroded dome. Millions of years ago, magma pushed up from beneath the Earth's crust, causing a huge bulge. Wind, rain, and time did the rest, carving out the layers and leaving this massive circular formation behind. Its symmetry is so sharp that astronauts use it as a reference point from space. Some say it's Atlantis. It's not. But it is one of the most visually striking geological features on Earth, and a reminder that nature is awesome. Number 10. Wheel Geoglyphs, Middle East. Thousands of stone wheels dot the deserts of Jordan, Syria, and Saudi Arabia, circular patterns scattered across barren landscapes, invisible from the ground. They've been around for more than 8,000 years, yet barely anyone noticed until satellite images pulled them into view. Each one is different. Some are basic rings, others show spokes radiating from a center. Theories are all over the place. Some believe they were ancient sun calendars. Others think they were linked to burial rituals or ceremonial sites. A few suggest they were used to trap animals, like the desert kites found nearby, though the shapes don't quite match up. No artifacts, no texts. Just perfectly arranged stones in the middle of nowhere. The precision is impressive for structures that predate writing. Built by Neolithic or early Bronze Age people, they clearly meant something at the time. What that was, though, is still completely up in the air. Number 9. Band of Holes, Peru. Well, this thing doesn't look real until you see it from above. The Band of Holes stretches for almost a mile, about 7,000 small pits arranged in tight, deliberate rows. Some are round, some rectangular. All are carefully spaced. No one's sure what they were for. Storage pits? Maybe. But no organic material has ever been recovered. Ritual site? Possible. The pattern could have had ceremonial meaning in ancient Andean culture. Some say it's aligned with celestial events. Others believe it's a forgotten method of food preservation, but none of it's confirmed. What makes it even more bizarre is how it was almost invisible until satellite imagery picked it up. Locals knew about the holes, but the full layout, the scale, the structure, was hidden. This isn't a random set of ditches. It's something built with purpose, and that purpose, even now, is still completely up for debate. Number 8. Vulcan's Throne, Grand Canyon. Zooming out over the Grand Canyon reveals something you won't spot hiking the trails. A strange collection of dark circular marks near Vulcan's throne. From above, they look like volcanic polka dots stamped across the earth. This cinder cone formed between 73,000 to 100,000 years ago during eruptions that sent basaltic lava spilling into the canyon, even damming the Colorado River. The circular marks are thought to be volcanic spatter, molten blobs that cooled mid-air and stuck to the ground. But here's the issue. Some of these shapes are too perfectly round, too randomly scattered. Volcanologists aren't convinced spatter alone explains them. The mystery deepens with their impact on the environment. These dark basalt dots have altered the soil chemistry, affecting where plants grow and how they thrive. While the Grand Canyon showcases 2 billion years of history, this particular feature is one of its youngest and weirdest. Scientists are still trying to figure out exactly what left these spots behind. Number 7. Aoronga Crater, Chad. Buried beneath the Sahara's sands in northern Chad, the Aoronga Crater hides in plain sight. At nearly 8 miles wide, it's one of the best preserved impact craters on Earth, formed roughly 345 million years ago. But it might not be alone. Satellite scans have hinted at something far stranger, a possible crater chain. 2 nearby formations suggest that a fragmented asteroid or comet struck this region in rapid succession. That kind of event is incredibly rare. Most craters don't survive erosion, and most impacts don't happen in a series. But here, a central uplift surrounded by concentric rings points to a violent collision. The force would have triggered wildfires, possibly altered the climate, and thrown Earth's systems into chaos. No one would have noticed it today without satellite tech exposing the crater's subtle patterns. Hidden for millions of years, it's now one of the best places to study how space can instantly rewrite life on Earth. Number 6. Nazca Lines, Peru. The Nazca Lines are so massive that you'd never recognize them standing on the ground. But from the sky, well, that's where the magic is. Dozens of animals, plants, spirals, triangles, even a figure nicknamed the astronaut, all drawn into the Earth over 1,500 years ago. The process was simple. Remove the top layer of iron-stained pebbles, and the pale soil beneath creates contrast. What isn't simple is the why. Some researchers think they were astronomical markers. Others suggest water rituals. A few of the animals depicted, like the Amazonian spider or monkey, don't even exist anywhere near the Nazca region, raising questions about ancient travel or trade. New geoglyphs keep being discovered, and yet we still don't fully understand how these people designed something so massive, so precise, without the ability to even view it from above. That's the mystery. Not just how they made it, but who they made it for. Aliens. Number 5. Diamonds and Circles, New Mexico. Near Mesa, satellite imagery revealed a massive symbol, 2 interlocking diamonds enclosed by concentric circles. No ancient markings, no alien landing pads, just a strange, deliberate design carved into the empty desert. It is tied to the Church of Spiritual Technology, a secretive wing of Scientology. This site reportedly houses one of their vaults, a subterranean bunker built to protect the writings of L. Ron Hubbard. Inside, metal plates and gold discs etched with his work, sealed to last for thousands of years. The symbols above aren't just decoration, they're meant as beacons for future Scientologists to find the vault after a global disaster. Construction methods aren't confirmed, but bulldozers and GPS were likely used to shape the geometry with precision. The area is locked down tight, heavily guarded, and rumors suggest it may also include underground shelters stocked for survival. Whatever's buried out there, it was made to outlast the rest of us. Number 4. Pentagram, Kazakhstan. In northern Kazakhstan, near the Upper Tobol Reservoir, there's a massive 5-pointed star etched into the ground, over 1,200 feet across. From the sky, it looks like something out of a conspiracy theory. A pentagram, bold and sharp, sitting in the middle of nowhere. People instantly connected it to the occult, secret societies, and other worldly weirdness. But the truth is probably less dramatic, though still strange. During the Soviet era, sprawling summer camps and youth complexes were built in remote regions. Some were designed with symbolic layouts, and the 5-pointed star was a common emblem of communism. This one? Likely just a pattern made with tree-lined paths and dirt roads, now mostly abandoned. Locals barely notice it. It's not a tourist stop, but from above, it grabs attention fast. Even if it's just a remnant of Soviet design, the fact that it sat unnoticed until Google Earth found it makes it feel like it was hiding something bigger. Number 3. Acre Geoglyphs, Brazil. Deep in the Amazon, near Brazil's western border, The trees are hiding something. Hundreds of ancient geoglyphs that shouldn't exist. Some are circles, some squares, some shaped like huge ditches. They only came to light after deforestation cleared patches of jungle, revealing patterns carved into the land. These trenches are wide, deep, and precisely arranged, connected by long, straight paths that cut through the rainforest like forgotten roads. Radiocarbon dating places them between 1000 BCE and 1000 CE, built by civilizations far older than the Inca. The sheer scale and symmetry suggest advanced planning, geometry, engineering, maybe even astronomy. Theories range from ceremonial centers to social hubs to early forms of territorial markers. Whatever their purpose, they rewrite everything we thought we knew about the Amazon. Number 2. Sajama Lines, Bolivia. Across Bolivia's Altiplano lies a massive spiderweb of ancient lines carved straight into the earth. Covering more than 8,700 square miles, these aren't small etchings either. Some are as wide as roads, yet just a few inches deep. What makes them so eerie isn't just the scale, it's the geometry. These lines don't bend or drift, even when slicing across hills, ravines, or valleys. Some run for over 12 miles without a single deviation. There's no clear meaning behind them. No artifacts, no symbols, just precision. Some theories suggest sacred paths connecting shrines. Others point to astronomical alignments or ritual procession routes. But there's nothing concrete, just guesses. Their survival over centuries comes down to Bolivia's dry, windless climate, which has kept them frozen in place. For a long time, nobody even knew they existed. It took satellite imagery to finally reveal the full picture, an ancient mystery written across the land. Number 1. Gobi Desert Patterns, China. A satellite sweep across the Gobi Desert reveals something that doesn't fit. Enormous geometric patterns carved into the earth. Grids, spirals, straight lines stretching for miles. None of this is natural. These weren't built for looks either. Some researchers believe they're calibration targets, giant test zones for spy satellites and imaging tech. China's been pushing hard in space and military tech, and these patterns line up with what you'd need for high-res orbital calibration. But not all of them add up. Some designs look more like ancient geoglyphs than anything tactical. Theories range from secret tech projects to experimental solar arrays. There's even a set of airstrip-shaped formations that don't operate as runways. No towers, no infrastructure, no sign of use. It's not Area 51, but it definitely sparks the same energy. The Gobi's always been a place to hide things. Now that satellites see everything, these once secret zones are on full display, and no one's offering real answers. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you soon in the next one.